The message of the day centered on security, peace, political and socio-economic transformation, as well as Pan-Africanism. Our reporter Henry Okrut was at Kachika Stadium and sent us this report.
And here comes Tarehe Sita Day, the 42nd of its kind. Officers and men in uniform, clearly indicating that there was training that came with rehearsals, and now ready to honor the day with this performance. It is a performance that followed arrival and settlement of dignitaries, including the head of state. Museveni was treated to a warm reception as exhibited by the security forces. The icing on the cake came with a medal in Museveni's honor, alongside other recipients for their exceptional service. He was decorated by the Chief Justice of Uganda, Alphonse Owiny-Dollo. All this took place at Kachika Stadium in Mbarara North constituency of Mbarara City, where President Museveni was the chief guest.
It has been drawn to my attention that through slip of tongue, I mentioned that you were born in 1984. That's wrong. You were born in 1944.
The role of the UPDF in development activities, including construction, was acknowledged.
With Your Excellency's astute leadership, we have been able to do a lot in terms of capacity building, capability enhancement, infrastructure development, welfare improvement, and medical, in order to build a professional, effective, efficient, and motivated force the UPDF is right now.
Such commitment to development was emphasized by the Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Vincent Sempija.
Your Excellency, we are here to, just as a repeat, to recognize the sacrifice of the founders of the People's Revolution that has ushered in the socio-economic transformation in this country.
On his part, President Museveni's message centered on peace, security, and economic transformation.
Why such growth in such a short time? It was on account of the following reasons. Number one, people being desperately fed up with the brutality and non-accountability of the old armies, the colonial army, Uganda army, and the other one, UNLA. So you, UPDF, must be very careful. You must never adopt the habits of these old armies: brutality, corruption. If you do that, the people will hate you.
Museveni emphasized the need for Ugandans to embrace development programs for improved livelihood.
Aim number one must be to make everybody go into money economy. And the sectors for money economy are commercial agriculture with the kibaro, with the calculation. Don't just bump into things which you have not analyzed. Or in industry, or services, or ICT.
Museveni seized the opportunity to explain how Tarehe Sita Day came about.
Attacked the huge garrison of the Kabamba Military Training School with the aim of regaining some of the 9,000 rifles Fronasa had handed to the joint force created after the defeat of Idi Amin. This united force had been given the designation of the UNLA. That was the army which we created after the defeat of Idi Amin.
To other leaders, it is a day worth celebrating.
Reminds Ugandans that they have a national army that is in place, strong enough to protect them in case of any insecurity threat, and that they should not fear, and that these are their own children whom they have built and they produced here in Uganda, and they have built experience over time.
Once again, you are welcome to Kacheka Stadium
to wage a liberation war
we are marking
which took 5 years
anniversary
and ushered in the NRM regime,
of the People's Army,
which, in my view, has caused the fundamental change the president promised when he was being sworn in.
And have been short waving.
And therefore, there is reason for us to celebrate.
Unlike Europe, in Europe they teach their children about their history, about where they came from, so they know. In Uganda, unfortunately, I think we don't do that enough. So today is significant. It's a day of remembrance to remember those that gave their lives. And
the 42nd Tarehe Sita Day has been observed under the theme recognizing the sacrifice of the founders of the People's Revolution for socio-economic transformation. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Meanwhile, leaders of Arua City and Arua District dedicated the Tarehe Sita celebrations to eulogies fallen heroes of the then National Resistance Army, including the late General Eddie Tumwine, who shot the first bullet at Kavamba. Many have described the first gunshot by the late Tumwine as a blessing for the NRA to capture power. Other leaders have appreciated work done by Uganda People's Defence Forces, Uganda Police Force and Uganda Prison Services in dealing with insecurity. Meanwhile, the 409th Brigade Commander, Colonel Ben Serwada, cautioned men in uniform against misuse of guns against civilians. Take a watch.
I want us to have a moment of silence in remembrance of the heroes who lost their lives for the sake of this country. We lost our hero who shot the first bullet last year. We feel so bad. May God empower us to emulate those who are no more. That today we also work like those ones who worked tirelessly and brought us this far. The peace we are enjoying today was because of them. Therefore, let us emulate their examples so that this country does not go back to the dogs.
Before, it was not easy for the civilians to smile and come near the UPDF, okay, near the army. They would run away. But now you saw when we're marching in the streets, everybody wants to follow us. And I think what I now want to call upon all of us is to ensure that we maintain that love and reduce the distance between the civilians and the army as much as possible.
All of us, we born from the people, mom and daddy. Just putting this uniform is a responsibility. Like a teacher, like a driver bus, like you can put a uniform. It's just to recognize you are so in UPDF, you are so in police, you are so in that uniform just to identity. And that gun is a tool these people bought.
I want to end by congratulating the UPDF force. I want to congratulate the other forces that have supported UPDF after securing this country in maintaining peace and stability.
Now, moving on, the chairperson Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, has directed the Attorney General to compensate 4 persons for damages during conviction and detention. This was during the first tribunal court hearing for Central Region by the Uganda Human Rights Commission here in Kampala. We have more in this story.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission has resumed tribunal court sittings after 2 years. The chairperson of the commission, Mariam Wangadia, says 50 cases will be decided upon in the next 3 weeks. At the session opening, the court handled 6 cases, where 4 of them are for compensation by the Attorney General, while other 2 had issues pending.
The complaint is allowed. The respondent is ordered to pay the complainant, Arod Habat, a total sum of shillings 11,140,000. Just like the case of Ismail Kola, I'm unable to go ahead to deliver this decision when I'm not even sure in whose favor I'm delivering this.
The Commission says it is facing a huge backlog of 1,700 cases as old as 2004.
Have 1,700 cases as our backlog. And these cases are not only at the Central Region. Please take note that these cases are in all our 12 regional offices. The Commission has 12 regional offices, and we conduct tribunals in each of these regional offices, so the backlog comes from all the 12 regional offices around the country. And when we come now to cause listing, we have to prioritize the older matters because there are newer matters, like you've rightly noted.
The tribunal next sitting will be at the Gulu regional offices next week, where 17 cases will be decided upon before proceeding to Soroti regional offices.
And out of the 50 matters, 19 are going to be heard for our Central Regional Office, 17 are going to be heard at our Gulu Regional Office, and 14 are going to be heard at our Soroti Regional Office, of which we also have some matters that are going to be heard from our Moroto Regional Office, making a total of 50 matters.
Chachadekera Grace, one of the complainants, was unhappy with the tribunal decision of awarding him 6 million shillings, saying depending on the magnitude of torture he underwent.
I'm not so much contented with the judgment, based on the decisions of the tribunal. One, the amount awarded to me was very, very little. That's one. 2, those officers who actually violated against me, I didn't hear about them.
For each case, they look at the nature of injuries the person suffered and the impact of the injuries on the person before they make a ruling to a particular effect, especially when it comes to compensation.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, homosexuality talk has taken center stage on different media platforms, indicating the vice has penetrated society. As we hear from our reporter Evan Kawa, he has met different leaders to ascertain how the vice can be prevented from eroding Uganda's culture.
Recently, videos and allegations of education institutions supporting and promoting homosexuality in Uganda have been on internet. President Museveni has over the years preached against the vice, and the re-emerging trend has caused legislators and leaders to condemn homosexuality.
And to advise the non-government organizations not to interfere with the cultural practices of Ugandans and not to attempt to divert or teach youngsters things that are inconsistent with our cultural practices.
The children we receive come from our society. Whatever happens, we receive. And people have gone ahead to target schools, Honorable Minister. We are very much worried and we are not protected.
So whenever we talk to our partners from other parts of the world, say, please, that's a private matter, you leave it. No, but they want to impose it on you. That I should stand up and say, oh yeah, homosexuals, oh yeah.
the issue of sex education is being abused to incorporate negative ideas that do not conform with our culture as Africans.
We are concerned as head teachers, people saying schools are the ones promoting homosexuality. I want to assure you that there is no single curriculum in the secondary school that teaches homosexuality, as far as this country is concerned.
It is not clear how recruitment of homosexuals is conducted, but some people have come out openly to announce that they are gay or lesbians.
I decided to leave Uganda because I came out because of my sexuality, being a gay woman in Uganda. And
the acts have been promoted using rainbow colors. The mayor for Entebbe Municipal Council, Brad Rulinda, removed rainbow colors from a children's park in Entebbe. This was in a letter dated 1st February 2023. Minister of State for National Guidance has ruled over the matter with clear strategies to block penetration of homosexuality in Uganda.
How can people say polygamy is a sin and homosexuality is not? You can see double standards. You can see double standards and so many other things. But as ICT, obviously, I think soon we are going to see how we can block some of these sites. Because some countries where I have been, there are specific sites you cannot access. And the technology is there to do that. You can block a site which is spreading that propaganda, and that one is a technology is there. So we are going to sit and see how we can improve our laws. That means now we need to even amend our what? Our laws.
So whoever hears anybody indulging in it has a right to do the needful. Let us go to the law, let us use the police, let us use the local leaders as much as possible, especially local leaders, right from LC1.
Section 2 of the Anti-Homosexuality Act and Section 145 of the Penal Code Act criminalize acts against the order of nature, and any person under the Act commits an offense and is liable to imprisonment for life. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, has ordered RDC Justin Mbabazi, with the help of police, to arrest Ewan Chigundu Lawrence over alleged trespass of forging documents and destroying people's property. In a meeting held in Nabingo, Bataka village in Sanji Town Council in Wakiso district, where the family of late Mujerwa Anderea and Bibanja holders.
Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, held a community meeting in Nabingo, Bataka village in Sanji Town Council, Wakiso district, responding to a petition the Lands Minister received from beneficiaries of late Mugera Anderea estate who sought protection from Chigundu Lawrence. Since 1985, he has denied the family members to access the family land and property.
Omukulu Lawrence Chigundu fano yali atugobawo nga wakati tujjawo kati esayo tuyina lya mochi wagonja kubanga naye katumusenza kati nga yewe yakusenza akati.
The Bibanja holders and family members accused Kigundu of destroying their property, taking away their land, and Bibanjas beating them and imprisoning them.
Okutujja mu nnaku gye tubaddemu emyaka n'emyaka omunaku gwe tugamba tawulira
muwanyisange n'effene n'ebiki mwezi gya ssente ekirungi Sanji parish zeekulira PDM ekyo kye kifudde abawejjere mu Uganda batugamba muleese ssente ez'abawejjere tezirabikangako bafuulidde ddala muwejjere sikyahiragaaka ne zino engoye zennyambadde emirirwa bazipadde abaana bange baabo tebalinawe.
Assistant Private Secretary from the State House, Controller Primato Mwebaze, gave recommendations according to the investigation report.
Ekitulese wano olwaleero era tusanga nga minisita era yazze yayisa olukiiko etugamba naffe tugenda kwenyigiramu tusome tulambulule bye twafuna nga tunoonyereza ku nsonga eno.
Sala neleeta omusabira wa Buganda Land Board bamuyita Nabbanja Immaculate. Ne tukola omulimu yapa ne tubiwa taata waffe. Oluvannyuma taata wange n'antabukira n'ankyawa n'ampita omubbi olw'ensonga Tinamugamba taata ow'ekibanja gogoba yaŋŋamba ye yamwaniriza mu mpale ennyimpi ng'ajja wano.
RDC Wakiso, Justin Mbabazi, asked the minister to camp in Nsangi Town Council due to the increasing land grabbing.
Directed the District Security Committee to make sure that we implement all his directives. And as you are aware that District Security Committees were given directives by His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni to make sure that whoever is being evicted from her or his land, the District Security Committee should take it immediately to make sure that we protect Ivanja orders. Being in Wakiso, it is rampant, but as DSC, we have come up with some resolutions. That is why we are normalizing the situation, one, by not allowing any Chibanja holder to be evicted from her or his own Chibanja.
The State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, ordered RDC with the police to arrest Chigundu Lawrence and other partners involved.
Administrator General Nyongereza Judith yeragira nti Lawrence Chigundu akwatibwe takwatibwanga muntu wangeri okyo tetulina polisi tetulina
I'm directing now the DPC with the aidance of the entire office of the RDC. The police must investigate thoroughly, get all those who did that act, arrest them, charge them, prosecute, get and justice follow its natural course. And all those who not only prosecuted, but they must pay, they must restitute, ensure that they pay whatever they cost to this man. That order has started working today.
The late Mugera Anderea had different estates from Nabingo, Block 327, Plot 26, 277 acres, 210 acres in Bulemezi, and over 40 acres from Bugerere, all grabbed by Chigundu Lawrence.
Land issues in Nsangi. Now, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, has rallied different cultural leaders to unite under one tribal leadership recognized by the government of Uganda. Speaking at the coronation of a clan chief in Lira, Amongi said her ministry is preparing to mediate the warring factions in the Lango Cultural Institution.
Lango Cultural Foundation has welcomed another member joining the institution as the clan chief. Dr. Bosco Ororo was inaugurated as a clan chief of Okia Wonodiang by His Highness the Paramount Chief of Lango.
It is until this ceremony takes place that he gets the full authority. This is important. This is the social government of Lango. There are areas which the political government of Uganda cannot do for every family.
So I will work with my colleague clan leaders to ensure that Lango develops and the standard of education improves. That is basically my focus as a university lecturer.
Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, urged cultural leaders to unite under one tribal leadership recognized by government.
And that the focus of government now is to ensure that we have households with the money that is able to look after their families.
Ministry of Gender will dispatch a technical team to mediate the warring factions on power conflicts among different tribal leaderships. For close to a decade, Lango has two cultural factions, Lango Cultural Foundation under Mzee Yosa Modure B and Tekwaro Lango under Dr. Engineer Moses Michael Odon-Kune, the former executive director of Uganda Road Fund. However, Yosa Modure B was gazetted by government in 2019.
So I want to come with my team and Department of Culture to let them know the constitution that is deposited and how they can change leadership. So that in case they think they need change of leadership, they should follow the right procedure, which makes it easy for government to recognize only one person, because government of Uganda does not want a divided community. We want a community that is united.
Land should move towards investment crops. And the investment crops we are thinking about, one is ash avocado. Now, it will survive in the garden for 50 years. You just harvest and the market is there.
The cultural institutions were abolished in 1966, but the current government, on the basis of rights to culture, restored the institutions in 1993. Eddie Olwa, UBC News.
Thanks, Eddie, for that report there. Now let's look at news pertaining to the education sector. And education experts have urged parents across Uganda to be mindful of the new curriculum that will see learners in different schools use new ways of learning to acquire skills for self-reliance. Now this is highlighted as the new academic year starts. Here is our reporter Joshua Kagoro with more.
As institutions of learning usher in a new academic year, education experts have weighed in on the relevance of the new curriculum and the impact it has on society.
This curriculum has not just started with the lower secondary. No, it started with the primary when we started something called the thematic curriculum. Teaching through themes, and those themes are the themes that really touch the people. The themes that touch the community. The intention was that children learn practically, looking at their communities, so that they can use their brain to think critically, to create, to be creative. UNEB has already revised their way of setting. Most of the questions are as practical as possible.
With the rising unemployment rate, it is believed that subjects in the new curriculum will help learners acquire skills and create jobs.
Some students are into carpentry, other students are into agriculture. They are rearing animals, they are rearing insects, they are doing a lot of things using their hands and using their brains. And that is the key to self-sustenance, and it will help us fight unemployment in our communities.
Mukasa further urged parents to take their responsibility of engaging learners in hands-on activities in holidays to collectively achieve the intended goal. Joshua Kagoro, UBC News.
Now, at least 4 students have benefited from the European Union annual grant for students who intend to upgrade their academic qualifications. The 4 have been flagged off to Spain for a 5-month training in various disciplines under Erasmus KA 107 program.
The United Nations office in Uganda has set up a grant to support 4 students under the Erasmus KA 107 program of the European Commission Students in Higher Education. This grant is aimed at contributing to the development of education sector and scientific research in the country, as well as exchange of knowledge.
To make good harmony among the different continents, among the countries, people should get more opportunities or internships, more funded projects. And then when they complete their studies, already their good future is waiting for them. They have very good international internships and placements also.
Dr. Kumar Pradeep is optimistic that this program will expose students to the international job market.
So this is another kind of milestone, a benchmark for the progress of students, that this exchange program helps them a lot to gain international exposure, which transforms their thinking, mindset, and overall personality.
Tukesiga Gavin Mutara, a student at Isbat University, is a beneficiary of this program.
Ugandans give us the minimum of what they could really actually be given. If someone could really invest in something and give us 100% and maintain over time, then I think that's something I want to see from there. Pick and learn. Of course, I'll be seeing and learning, and I'll come and I'll see where I can incorporate whatever I get.
Parents cautioned learners against immorality and any form of indiscipline during their course of study.
Recent, there is homosexuality there. It's rampant. We have not sent you to Spain to practice homosexuality. LGBT, please be careful. We've not sent you there to do drugs.
Mary Namkose, Irene Nantongo, UBC News.
To Palisa district now, where Minister for Presidency Millie Babalanda has called upon Christians in Tororo Diocese to improve household income by embracing government development programs. She was speaking at Archbishop Dennis Lote Kiwanuka's inaugural memorial service in Kadengele in Palisa district.
The year 2022 marks the end of Archbishop Emeritus of Toro Diocese Dennis Lote Kiwanuka's earthly life. Christians in Toro Diocese have birthed an annual memorial service and church house in his honor in Kadaleng, Palisa district.
That has been given to us here. We are here because, as I said already before, we want peace and unity together. Peace and unity in the family here, peace and unity in the area here, peace and unity in this region, the Great Palisa and all over. And please, we can do that only when we trust that God has given us the capacity to maintain that peace.
Presiding over the function, the Minister for Presidency hailed the man behind this initiative, Lawrence Levy Omlen, for his support to the church and the government.
Mr. Omlen has done this because he's a believer, but also to create opportunity for the people of God to worship Him with comfort and as a symbol to remind you always that you need to be in the presence of the Lord.
Omlen constructed St. Damian Church Kadalenge, Archbishop Kiwanuka Lot House, graded roads, extended electricity and water to the area, among others.
Electricity, we connected electricity to several villages here. We've also done water. These are not issues I want to talk about.
Iteso King Emolimo, Papa Sunday Emolud, appreciate the organizers for bringing together.
Sent my sport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN mobile money. Dial *165#. Select my account. Select initiate reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Okay, so these receipts, okay, plus this one equals
Keeping up with your transaction history the old way.
1,000. Okay, I got this. I don't. Okay, maybe if I can just.
Keeping up with your transaction history with the My Airtel app. You have the power in your pocket. The power to keep an eye on your transaction history. Unlock that power with the My Airtel app. Visit the App Store or Google Play now.
It's easy.
Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with UNDP, will host the launch of the 2021 Poverty Status Report under the theme Jobs, Informality and Poverty in Uganda, Insights on Performance Before and During COVID-19 on Thursday 9th February 2023 at Imperial Real Hotel, Kampala, starting at 8 a.m. The guest of honor will be Honorable Matia Kasaija, Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. This report explores Uganda's structural transformation agenda, which is hinged on transforming the livelihoods of households from low to high productivity activities and sectors, while minimizing vulnerabilities to poverty. The event will be hybrid with in-person attendance by invitation and strictly following COVID-19 SOPs. All other participants are invited to join via Zoom, YouTube, and live broadcast.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma. Now, inadequate funds, inaccessible roads and lack of electricity have hindered the gender and equity compliance of the agro-industrialization program among Ugandans. This was during a meeting of Equal Opportunities Commission with the Agro-Industrialization Program Secretariat held here in Kampala.
20 programs of the National Development Plan 3, agro-industrialization is one of the key elements of elevating Ugandans from poverty, since it aims at enhancing value addition in key growth opportunities. During an assessment of gender and equity compliance of government entities by Equal Opportunities Commission, the agro-industrialization program showed a decline of 56% compared to the last financial years.
We wanted to listen to the key sectors in the industrialization. What are they doing? What specific measures have they put in place to ensure that no person is left behind, no person is left out, everybody is productive? Actually, the anticipated challenges with industrialization, issues like water, availability of water in time, availability of electricity. Now you hear that, you know, when electricity is not provided constantly, some industries, they get their machines spoiled.
The Commission was engaging with the Agro-Industrialization Secretariat to address concerns of marginalized groups like the youth, women, and persons with disabilities to be included in the program budgetary provisions.
The second budget call circular is going to be issued, and when they are going to develop their ministerial ministerial policy statements. We feel that this is the time when we have to discuss with them, to remind them about the issues of the marginalized persons so that they don't leave them out when they are developing the ministerial policy statements.
The Secretariat requires inadequate funds allocated to benefit special interest groups.
To comment on is the tokenism. Honorable Chair, when you look at the breakdown of the budget, we have wage, which is obvious. We have non-wage and development. Development is also obvious. It's tagged to capital expenditure. So the area where we can allocate money to all activities is under non-wage. Now, even under non-wage, we have fixed costs.
The chairperson, Equal Opportunities Commission, Haja Safia Nalejoko, called upon government entities to carry out population registration starting at parish level.
There is need for us, actually, to start registering everybody at the village level, at the cell level, what each person, you register the person and the enterprise this person is doing, or the work he's doing. That's the only way we can be able to see what that person needs to maybe to be helped with, or how he's faring.
Some of the key sectors that fall under this program have promised to intervene in the financial year 2023-2024.
Maybe we need to invest in the mindset change. The agriculture sector has invested heavily in some of the enterprises that do not even require too much land.
Rebecca Nantongo, Robert Katamba, UBC News.
To Gomba District now, where women, men and youth from Gomba District have appealed to government to transform the agricultural sector, which will improve their standard of living. They have now formed groups which they say all support can be channeled through. We have this detailed story.
Gomba District is a food-stressed area with less economic activity. Gomba West Constituency Area MP urges communities to engage in agriculture activities and work towards improving their livelihoods. Area Member of Parliament will give farmers animals, chicken from which they can generate manure for their gardens. Namkasa Beatrice from Kabula Soke was one of the beneficiaries.
I take this opportunity to thank our area MP, Honorable Robina Rakojo, for the opportunity that she gave us, whereby she gave us chicks in our group and everyone benefited. After selling off those chicks, actually they became chicken, we sold them and then got some money.
They have formed groups through which they want support. Mubiri Geoffrey is the secretary from Omunako Kama Development Association.
This time round, we have seen Honorable Robina down the ground helping people. In fact, she has helped us with the project of poultry, and we have gained a lot of experience. If only it's possible, let Honorable come back. Let her provide more, because there is still a lot of need. In fact, this is the only way to pull us out of poverty.
These are the success stories registered in Gomba West constituency.
Enkoko nze ze nafuna zinyambyeko okusobola okunkendereza ku school fees. Kubanze enkoko ezange nzitunze olwaleero, enkya omwana wange adda ku ssomero omu owa siniya ey'okusatu, naye nfunyeko ku ssente zasomera nsobodde okufunako ekitundu.
Okusima kwange oli omubaka Honorable Robina Rakojo olw'ensolo ze yatuwa embizi zituyambye kinene nnyo okuyingiza enfuna yaffe. Ekisookera ddala olulimi lwange mugiraba, banyuwa wa mbizi gwe nteekamu enyuma n'enyirira.
Mary Namkose, Stephen Kayumba, UBC News.
Did
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at sports news, and we begin with basketball. The Gazelles, that is the national women basketball team, came out on top with a 79-52 win against a select team in a friendly game played Sunday afternoon at the Lugogo MTN Arena. The friendly game was organized by Federation of Uganda Basketball Associations to give the ladies more playing time ahead of the Afro Basketball Zone 5 qualifiers due on the 14th to the 19th of February 2023 here in Kampala. The qualifiers are a pathway for the Afro Basket Championship that will happen later this year.
With 7 days to the AfroBasket Zone 5 qualifiers, the national women basketball team has had a friendly game with the select team to test out their playing strategy ahead of the tournament due 14th to the 19th of February 2023 in Kampala. The trial game was played Sunday afternoon at the Lugogo Indoor Stadium, and the team emerged winners with 79 points against 52 points after 4 quarters and 2 overtimes. Top players were Hope Akelo and Agatha Kamwada, who had 11 and 10 points respectively, while Sarah Ageno, Letitia Awor and Sarah Baker contributed 9, 8 and 7 points individually. The select team was made up of players who had been dropped from the initial Gazelle squad of 28.
The purpose of the game was to see how much of what we did in practice translates to today. And I can say there are a couple of good things and some things we still need to work on. Obviously, we need to be able to execute as a unit offensively. And sometimes we tend to go into a mode where we want to brainstorm, which is not what we want to do. So that's something we still need to work on. Thankfully, we have a week for that. We are hoping that by then we'll be prepared enough to obviously put on a good show. All the times we've had these qualifiers, we've been so close, especially the last one, but we didn't make it through.
So I feel like as a player, as a team, we basically didn't just come to just run far because we would score more, but we wanted to work on those concepts that we were working on at practice. And I believe we are much better than where we started.
Concerning the preparations for the tournament, FUBA President Nasa Serungeji says that though they are financially constrained, they are working hard to put up a decent event.
Logistically, we are ready. Of course, as always, we have these financial challenges because at the moment, National Council of Sports through government hasn't, given us money, but they have promised that they are following up on our issue. So hopefully, very soon they will be coming through. But we have hosted such tournaments before, and we are used to them, so we know what to do.
The 17 Gazelle players will enter a residential camp this week, and 12 will make it to the final list. Egypt, Rwanda, South Sudan, Kenya and Uganda will participate in the Zone 5 qualifiers, where the top team will qualify for this year's Women's AfroBasket Championships in Rwanda. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Uganda Karate Federation has finally held elections of new office bearers. And as we hear in this report, this is the first substantive Uganda Karate Federation Executive Committee since 2017. John Ban Sentamo gives us more.
After more than 6 years minus a recognized leadership, Uganda Karate Federation has gone to the polls. Junior Ebong is the president. Hamida Nabunje is the first vice president, with Jamil Miro, second vice president.
Karate was not mentioned in the 51 associations
all sports bodies in Uganda. So the major and the first and the foremost role of the new government is to put in karate as soon as possible into the books of National Council, into the books of Uganda. Then we are thinking of in between May and June, we should have the first Uganda Open.
We are going to train them a bit because most of them are new, and we are trying to promote women. So more women out there can also come and join us. It's going to be massive.
The past 6 years have been tumultuous for the Federation, with no funding from the government, a situation that has mainly hurt the athletes.
Training trainees. It has affected us a lot because we've not been grading ourselves where we are. We've been training for so many time, but we don't compete.
Others on the Federation to serve till 2026 are Secretary Martin Emoku, Treasurer Annette Apai, and Frank Nwagaba as the Public Relations Officer. Head of National Training and Coaches Ronnie Setumba, Technical Commissioner is James Opio, and Head of Advisory Moses Kiwanuka. National and Regional Coordinator is Apollo Bamsongihe, Head of Gender Madina Nancha, and Head of Rules, Discipline and Conflict Resolution John Geoffrey Obiek. Others are Jonas Tumusime, Edgar Mwine, Hassan Idris Kaganda, and Yahaya Ofubo. John Barnes Sentamo, UBC News.
Now to boxing, where boxer Shadir Musabwogi was voted as the best sports personality of January at the monthly Uganda Sports Press Association General Assembly held today at Imperial Royal Hotel here in Kampala. At the assembly, sports journalists were also trained on the role sports journalism plays in growth of the sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, the USPA Now Special Sports Personality for the month of January is none other than Shadil Musa Boji, who collected 260 points.
Facing competition from Mukono Women Pool, Omar Walid and Itanda Kayaka's team, Shadil Musa Boji won the voting with 260 points. This was during the USPA General Assembly held today at Imperial Hotel, Kampala. Boji won the contest thanks to his knockout victory over Evan Magumba to win the national super middleweight title. At the assembly, USPA also introduced new categories of awards in the monthly award.
Those new products are wholly supposed to revamp our outlook, revitalize our image, and place us in a digital world. 2 weeks ago, we launched one of our new products, the Twitter Spaces. We appreciate the members that have generously contributed support, either in kind, socially, morally, or even financially. It was particularly important that as we need to revamp our association, we needed to reach out to some of the stakeholders to help us revisit and help us again collectively to be able to advance our mandate as well.
And one of the properties, like I mentioned, is monthly partner activities. We'll be disclosing which activities or which partner will be playing first. But as far as I know, we are working with our parliamentary team so closely to ensure that we have this engagement, and we'll confirm the date.
There was also a training session by Mark Namanya, former USPA president, on the role sports journalism plays in the role of their sector. Manzi Daniel, UBC News.
It is coming to 6 minutes to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma. I'll see you tomorrow.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.